Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Beth, a creator-based coach with CMH Coaching for Life. I'm here today to help you and those you love create a life you feel grounded and at home in. Think of a life where you feel peace, love for those around you, and in a flow with just enough challenge to keep you happy and creating something wonderful. Sounds like magic, but it's not. You can create that life every single day. You can have a life full of love, excitement, hope, and creation. Our mission at CMH Coaching is to flood the earth with light through compassion, mindfulness, and hope. And I'm going to ask a favor of you. If you like what you see and hear today, think of someone you know that would enjoy and benefit from this message. Our mission is to flood the world with compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Share this with them. But for now, this is time just for you. So settle into whatever you're doing and enjoy this time with the girls, where we create that one awesome, amazing, perfect life every one of us is seeking.
Discovery. Yeah, let me get to share screen. Hold on. Let's do this first. No, maybe not. I keep forgetting. Okay, technical difficulties.
You are among friends. Everybody knows what technical difficulties feel like here. I say, Jacine, help me.
Amen.
Okay, here we go. All right, can everybody see it?
Yes.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Yay. Yay. All righty. So today we are going to be talking about listening to our body when it is trying to tell us stuff. Some people don't even think that. Some people just think, I'm having a problem, or I'm having an issue, or I'm having pain, and they don't want to, or they don't think to maybe dive a little bit deeper. And that's what today's about. So, is your body talking, and are you listening to it? So let's first start. Now, I want to preface that all of the information that I am giving you, I have gathered from 3 of my teaching books, the books that taught me. And at the end, I have those books, so you can see those books in case you want to get them and learn more. But I also have taken from them the information for here, but also I've taken their information and kind of created my own way on how I ask my body and I do things with my body. So I'm going to be presenting to you kind of how I do it. But if you want to learn how each of these books, the modalities of these books, I have that at the end so you can do your own research and search for yourself. So our body responds to subtle messages, ideas, and beliefs we attach to as we journey through our life. If these messages, beliefs, images, and ideas are for our highest and greatest good, they improve our health. If these attachments are destructive to our journey, they contribute to disease and decay. We are alerted to this deterioration through certain symptoms in the body, like pain, discomfort, dysfunction, illness, disease, and so forth. All this subtle information is stored in the subconscious mind. There are many ways to access the subconscious mind. One of the most effective ways is to simply ask a question. Why? Or sometimes even like a deeper, more concise or precise question. And we'll get into that. Is this new to anybody? This idea? Okay. So how does this work? I'm going to have to move the people over here so I can read. Hold on.
Rearrange us.
Rearranged. So when we ask questions, we invite the brain to search for answers. It does not currently have programmed into it. Asking a well-designed question can provide a window of opportunity for the brain to receive new or higher information it has not yet considered. This shift in consciousness begins to reformulate, recalibrate in the subconscious mind so that the brain is no longer feeding the body the same unproductive or even destructive information. one of the biggest things that I like to help people understand, because I saw how, when I learned this, and I saw it shift in my own life, was if you're dealing with a chronic issue, you don't attach your identity to that issue. Like, I suffered from depression. Did you see how I said I suffered, or I suffer, or I experience? Not that I am depressed, or I have this depression. You don't want to attach yourself to it. The other thing that I realized was I kept telling myself, oh, I'm broken. I am just broken. My body is not functioning. I'm just broken. I'm broken. Well, your body starts to believe that. It's like, hey, wait, I guess I am broken. So I'm just not going to function correctly. So some of these things that we tell ourselves, we have to make sure that we give it a different type of information. So that's where it says right here, let's feed the body a productive information, a constructive information. So sometimes if you find yourself saying something like that, just shift it and just say, even if you are dealing with something like, no, my body is not broken. It's doing amazing things. It's just having a little bit of a problem in this area that we're going to look at. So try and understand, or try and see how you're thinking and kind of shift on that. Anybody want to add anything to this before I go on?
The affirmations that we use, that sits right here with me when we, especially when we do Coaching Clear and we come away with 2 or 3 new affirmations, that is feeding the body that productive, constructive information, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. And that you can see how that affects your physical health.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
I do have a question.
Okay.
You stated a well-designed question is what you need. What is well-designed?
We're going to get into that. Okay. So, and actually you learn how to ask those questions. The first thing you need to do is just be aware and ask the question of why is this happening? Why are you doing this? Why do I feel this? So you start with the simple questions. Okay. And we're going to do an activity where we can start kind of formulating our own questions. Okay. And so that's going to be coming in the workshop. But then also there are people who have already have books about questions you can ask your body. So, and that's, we'll get into that too. So it's coming. Okay. But good question.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So when the brain sends new messages to the body begins to accommodate the new thinking and no longer feeds the dysfunction. Okay. Our body craves order. When we have exposed and removed the disorder in the mind through self-inquiry and align our intention with our creator, the result can be, high vitality, energy, wisdom, and optimal health. The intention is that the questions will activate the new way of thinking and feeling and will lend to the healing and restoring of the body. Okay. So once again, I have to move you guys. Symptoms in the body are linked to specific thoughts, beliefs, and attachments to ideas that have to do with the following. Somebody want to read our list here?
Sure, I can.
Okay.
Self-worth, our right to be on the planet, our right to be loved, how others react to us, how we think we should react to others, whether or not our creator is friendly to our success, our right to have support, our ability to express ourselves, our fear levels, whether life is hard or easy. In short, our overall point of view of our Earth life experience.
Okay. This is kind of big. Has anybody ever thought that the symptoms in our body are linked to these? Like, how can this discomfort, pain, or even injury or illness be linked to the following, to my self-worth, to my right to be loved or even to be alive. There is a connection between what we feel in our body physically, our illnesses, our discomfort, our pain, and our emotional state, our beliefs. There is a connection. And just as I stated before, if we can clear up that emotional or that belief stuff, then it lets the body do its job to heal. It's fascinating when I first learned this. And when you have your experience with it, then it becomes just super real. And so I'm hoping today you'll have this experience with this. One thing I wanted to point out with this, our life experiences basically give us an overall viewpoint. So I'm just going to give an example. So something happened to you. Let's put you in quotations to somebody. So something happened to you that usually it's early in your life, like in your childhood or your teens. Something happens to you and it sparks the idea. And we're going to go with the idea of like life is hard. So it sparks the idea that life is hard. So you have this idea that starts in your mind and your being. And then every time in your life past that, when you have a hard experience, it just instills that more into your thought process, into your personality, into your being. It then becomes, I have a hard life. It validates that little spark, that little belief. So this is how these things are created. Beth.
It reminds me of your vision books that you make.
Yeah.
So imagine you're 3 or 4 years old and you begin your vision book with this first life is hard.
Yeah.
And then all the time stuff happens, you keep building that book, life is hard. And pretty soon you're running your life out of that book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
And
not the kind of vision book I want.
No. But this is our book. And so, but we have the ability to look at that book and change it. And our body is giving us hints. It's giving us these discomforts, these pains, these illnesses to say, there's a deep emotional issue that if you can address this and resolve it, I can go back to being the body. It's our body is a tool to help us understand our life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What we're going through. I do want to go back and talk a little bit about the subconscious mind, because how this works is all of our beliefs, all of our values, and the beliefs, I'm talking the good beliefs and our limiting beliefs. So everything that we believe, everything that we value, everything that our memories, our experiences of our memories, our memories of our experiences, all this stuff, is stored in our subconscious mind. That's just one part of the subconscious, but a larger part of the subconscious is our subconscious. It regulates all of our autonomic nervous system. It regulates our breathing. It regulates our digestion, our immune function, our blood pressure, our temperature, all this on its own without us having to tell it what to do. So this is why we can actually, with the subconscious, go in and see what's going on with the body, because it is regulating the body all the time. So if we can have this access to the subconscious, which the easiest way to do it is by asking a question of the body, then we can understand kind of at a deeper level what's going on, and once again, help to restore the body. Okay, so let's move on. Any questions about that? Okay, so right here, our body is a subtle instrument that indicates.
Chick is not subtle, just so you know.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. I know. Sometimes it's yelling at me. Our body. Sometimes it's this woman next. That's why I put the picture there.
Yeah.
Our body is a subtle instrument that indicates us how it is doing on this journey. Okay, how we're doing. The body whispers constantly, letting us know that it is serving. What is serving to regenerate. Oh my gosh, help me. Rejuvenate. Oh my gosh.
You just want to see if we're paying attention. I know you.
And restore, or what is damaging and destroying it. So let's go back and reread that. The body whispers constantly, letting us know what is serving to rejuvenate and restore, or what is damaging and destroying it. Okay. Over time, through this repetitiveness, these whispers can turn into a loud voice and eventually a scream. Are you listening?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that paragraph that I read twice. This is what I'm trying to learn about my body too. I know when it's screaming at me, when it's telling me something, when it's whispering of something that is damaging and destroying it. But am I listening to when there's something rejuvenating it and restoring it? Because it's easy for me to find the negative and find like the issue and the problem. But am I understanding when my body is saying, yes, this is really good for me? So, yeah. So that's something that I myself am trying to
practice hearing your yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
what's working? Like sometimes you kind of get in a good mode, like you're having a good day or a good week, or you're just feeling more energy. And instead of like stopping and recognizing, okay, what's working? What am I doing?
Forward to the next thing, right? Yeah.
That's super interesting. That's a good question. What is working?
What's working?
What's working? Yep. Good point there, Cricket. So I'm going to ask you a question here. What is whispering to you right now? What is your body whispering to you? Or
you want to know what it's whispering or what's yelling, right?
Exactly. I was going to say, or what is a loud voice right now? And what is a scream? Okay. Can you differentiate those things? Because if we can listen to the whisper before it becomes a loud voice, before it becomes a scream, possibly we can address something and help something before it is super big issue. So right now, just on your piece of paper, just kind of write down. I'm just going to give you a few seconds. If you recognize a whisper, if you can recognize your body's loud voice, or if you can recognize a scream. I mean, just what are some of the things that you are physically dealing with right now? What is probably the most prominent one, I would say, is a scream. What is one that you're just like, this is kind of back there, kind of bugging me a little bit? That may be a loud voice. What is something that I really have to like focus on to hear? What is that? That could possibly be your whisper. But just start writing some things down. I think the first step is to just realize my body there's something going on here. So it's trying to tell me something. And instead of numbing it and dulling it by taking something, and I'm going to use examples of myself throughout this, like my lower back, instead of numbing the pain by taking an Advil or two, why don't I ask a question and dive deeper and trying to figure out, what is that pain trying to tell me? Maybe I'm too old to be lifting rocks, but there is still something there saying, maybe there is an imbalance, a weakness in that area of my body that I need to ask, what is going on? Okay. And that's what the next step is with the workshop. First, you've identified possibly a voice, your body, a scream, a whisper, a loud voice. The next part of this is, possible questions to start with. Now, possible. I'm going to give you just a lot of possibilities. What speaks to you is going to be your truth. So a lot of times when I start this, I do start with connecting to my creator, whether it's just I throw it up there like, okay, Heavenly Father, help me out here. I need some like inspiration, or I need some direction, or it's a full-blown prayer on my knees. So it just depends on how you go about this. But my intention always is in my heart is that my creator is helping me discover what I need to understand and know about my body, about my situation, to change it or to help improve it. So these are just some possible questions. So the next 2 slides, we're going to be toggling back and forth from them as we discuss this. So you've identified your stuff. So let's go into this. So possible questions to start with. What is this function of the body part that I'm having an issue with? Okay. Think about that. What are all the different things this part does? What does it enable you to do? What it represents in your life? What words describe this function? These are all you can explore all this stuff. This is just about the body part. Okay. And then what is the nature of your difficulty? Is it sore? Is it hot? Stiff? Aching? Weak? Find out what word your body is telling you it's about, this difficulty. It could come up with a word that you're just like, now how can that be annoyance or something? It's really interesting. But these are this is like the possibility to start with these questions. Which side of the body is involved? What does this side mean to you? What words describe this side? Like a lot of times with me, if I'm dealing with something and it's the left side, it's my non-dominant side. And so if it's clumsiness sometimes, or it's not, it's not dexterity, it's, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes just think about different sides. Then how does this part of your body feel inside? Is it angry, irritated, hurt, shy, worried, stressed, sad? What does it feel? You're starting this question and you're dialoguing with your body. And really don't second guess what comes first. Like if like I said, if a word comes, you're like, how could this be this word? Just take the word at face value. Just let it come. Or it may give you a story, like a picture or a story or a memory, anything. And just take all that information and just jot it down. Are there any benefits you gain from this difficulty? Does it make you feel special? Loved and cared for? Does it make you feel guilty? Or is it getting you out of something? Okay, so the next slide, and we're going to toggle back and forth this because you're going to do some self-exploration in the next little bit, okay? And I can always put this back up. But the next slide is another way of looking at what's going on in the body to get information from. So other possibilities. So if there's something with the top of my head or like center of my head, does it have something to do with cognition, connection to spirituality, my higher self, life purpose? That could be more on the belief side of things, okay? Middle of forehead. If I have a tension headache here, is it something to do with intuition or my vision of my life or wisdom or the ability to think and make decisions? That could possibly, now remember, these are all possibilities, okay? Throat and neck, communication, self-expression, speaking truth, the truth or my truth, or am I holding secrets? Okay. The heart region, experiencing love, joy, peace, inner peace. And experiencing meaning giving and receiving. Okay. What about like your high navel? Your high navel. This is like your personal power, empowerment, self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem, possibilities. The lower navel, more of like your bowels, creativity, ability to produce, bring forward also like the sexual organs, so your sexuality. And then like your lower back, base of spine, insecurity, survival, and stability. And then think about, and I didn't put this on here, but think about what your legs do. Okay? So we can put legs and arms on here too, but think of what your legs do and your feet. They move you. They propel you forward. They are part of your stability, but it's more of like a movement. Okay? What could your arms and your hands do? I think that with me, they're all part of expression, of course, because I'm out waving my arms. I'm always using my hands. I was told that if I were to tie my hands behind my back, I probably wouldn't be able to speak because I have to be connected with them. So who knows, whatever that is. But also part of certain ways of creativity come from hands, doing, creating. Okay, so just kind of think of your body part and what is it having a problem with? This is just a basic possibility. There are books that can help you do a deeper dive. Okay. So just some things that I've learned on like a deeper exploration of like neck problems, like the inability to like move my neck, inability to maybe look at a different possibility or outcome. Okay. Not willing to turn, and see differently. So these can be some really interesting things that you learn. I'm going to give you some experiences that I've had as you kind of are thinking about your own stuff. So when I started to learn about the connection of what my body was trying to tell me and the emotional and internal and belief problems about it, I had, I had this problem from my legs, from about the knees down. I could not sit for maybe 30 minutes without them just really hurting. And I had to move them. It was almost like restless leg a little bit, but it was also like, I had to get up and move around, and it was just painful. And I went to doctors. They're like, well, it's kind of a restless leg. We could put you on some medicine. If not, then another person said, well, because of your history of a car accident where my legs got hamburgered, they're like, oh, you have this like peripheral vascular disease. You need to go to a vein doctor. So I went to a vein doctor, and they started to strip my veins out. It was just like, it was horrible. It was horrible. And I got very little relief. And I was like, there's just got to be a different way. This is all before I understood about some alternative ways of doing things. And I started to understand that my legs, what do my feet and my legs do? They move me in my life. So I had to think, am I just not moving in the right direction? And that was part of my first exploration. I wasn't moving in the right direction. I wasn't taking my body and putting it in the place it needed to be. I was not moving in the right direction. So as I started to learn about how to adjust what was happening in my life, not only physically, but emotionally, I was able to start to release and change the way my legs felt through some other modalities. And we're going to get into that on how to actually release, once we find this information, how to release it. And it took some sessions and everything, and we focused just on that. But as I started to change my emotional self, my internal self, and address it strictly by what my legs were telling me, the swelling went down, the pain went away. And it was incredible. And I didn't have to do any more of the vein stuff. And so now, and I could sleep during the night. It was just fascinating. So now because this is, for me, when I start to have pain in my lower legs, I immediately start asking the question, am I moving in the right direction? And it's always no. And so then I address the direction I'm moving in. What do I need to change internally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever I need to do to change that? And then to release the emotions or the limiting beliefs that are impacting that area. And then my pain and discomfort shifts. And it's just fascinating. So now that I have like the lower back issue, because I've been gardening, trying to basically move the mountain in my backyard, yeah, rocks, I'm having lower back pain. So some of this stuff, discomfort, can come because of what you're doing, but it can tend to help you understand, well, was there a weakness already there? Was there an imbalance already there? And now it's just been activated or irritated. And so now I've been going in and saying, okay, so what does my lower back do? It's stability, it's survival. And man, girl, if you have money issues, because it's all about survival, you probably have lower back issues. Or you may have gut issues because of creating. So it's interesting what some of this stuff can happen. Now, that's all the deeper dive. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing that. But I want you just to start understanding how body parts can give us a huge clue just by what they do for us. Okay? A little bit more of an explanation here. So I did this as a kid, obviously, and I know a lot of kids do this. They've got something going on at school that they don't want to face. They either don't have the ability to face it, or they're just stressed out about it. And so what do they do the day before, the morning of? I got a tummy ache. They may literally have a tummy ache because now they can't do this, but they're wanting to get out of something because they can't face it. So their body will give them an issue, or they might just be saying, I have this, and they don't really, but their stomach sometimes will then hurt because they're telling themselves they have it because they don't want to go do this. Does that make sense? Okay. So part of the stomach, not only if you look here, personal empowerment, their self-worth, their self-esteem, their self-confidence, they don't have that going into whatever it is. For me, it was always because I wasn't prepared to go take an exam, or I did not want to get up and perform in band in front of everybody. That's just not me. I am a behind the scenes girl. Don't make me stand in front of anybody. So I will do something to get out of it. That's what I did as a child. So the stomach, I would have that pain, or I'd have that discomfort. Then I learned later on too, what does the stomach do? It digests whatever is put in there, right? It digests it. I was having an experience in life that I could not digest for whatever reason, for an inability, for a self-worth issue, or maybe I didn't have the confidence, but I was not able to digest the experience I was going into. So my stomach was telling me that. Another thing, if you, on the bowel end of it, so if you have constipation or diarrhea, what does that tell us? It's also part of the digestion, releasing stuff that we've already used, getting rid of waste. So diarrhea, what are you not willing to hold on to and process and understand? What do you want to get out of your life? Okay. What about constipation? What are you not willing to let go? So these are some things when you start asking some of these other questions, let's go back. What is the function of the body part? And what is the difficulty? Is it sore? Is it hot, stiff? Is it diarrhea? Is it constipation? These type of things. So, and like with asthma, so I deal with asthma. The lungs, it's the heart area, okay? And that was all about receiving or giving joy, love. What else was there they put on there? Peace, those type of things. So what are some of the opposites of those? Are you not releasing? Is it guilt? Is it shame? Is it grief? So, that shows up for me a lot with my asthma. What am I not really willing to expel? and also take in as I breathe, exchange those two things. So these are just some hints, some things that you can start to ask your body. Are you trying to tell me something deeper about what I'm experiencing? And so you deep dive into what exactly is this illness about, and then ask questions. And as we start to get rid of the emotional side of it, the energy of that, as it said in the beginning, we can set the body up to heal itself. And I always want to say possible and can, because it's not, 100% do this and you're going to get 100% healing. It's just not the way that it works. But we can have a greater understanding, and then the body can heal to whatever level it is able to heal. Has anybody else had an experience understanding a part of their body and getting, relief?
So I had an experience this when I was at my daughter's house last week. I was on business and did a lot of driving in the LA area. I mean, hours and hours in the day and hours in the clinic. So my days were like 14-hour days. And on Thursday night, I went to sleep, and my IT band was really bothering me. I stretched and but it woke me up in the middle of the night. So I'm like, oh, I got to get this thing to stop. And so I got up and took a leave, and it did not help. It didn't help at all. Like no relief. So I'm literally laying in bed, and I'm like, okay, well, what are you trying to tell me? Same thing, Jen. It's
Perfect
like, okay,
word,
well,
perfect question. What are you trying to tell me?
What are you trying to tell me? And I just had, and it was through prayer. I mean, I was asking Heavenly Father, what is my body trying to tell me? Sweet IT man, what are you trying to tell me? And all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but I just had this thought, lean into the pain. And I was like, okay, how do I do that? And the leaning into the pain was just noticing, okay. And as I started noticing what the pain was doing, it was all about it was stress and tension. And it just started releasing. And I could feel it releasing all the way, from the top of my rear end all the way down into because it was radiating all the way down into my calf.
Oh, wow.
And was able to fall back asleep. And then it woke me up again, and same thing, just lean into it, notice it, don't judge it, don't try and fix it, just notice it. And as soon as I could do that, and as you're talking, what I'm thinking about is what it just needed to let the stress go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I just that was my body saying, you are so stressed out from all of this that you've been doing. And I'm angry right now. So just, leaning in and just noticing. And then that just helped me relax and let go.
That's amazing. I mean, that's perfect. I love your first question. What are you trying to tell me? And then you opened yourself up to whatever it needed. And it just needed to have your intention just to lean in.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, I mean, like if you're curious, do a deeper dive at some point. Because obviously, I mean, you had this tension and stressful situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it was reacting, kind of like how me and my lower back. Maybe there is an imbalance or a weakness there already, that's where it's when you do get in those stressful things, it exhibits there. I know some people have it here. Mm-hmm. So, maybe there's more to learn there. I don't know. But at that moment, it was like for your relief and what you needed then, it's exactly what you needed. And I love that you involved your creator, because that gave you the wisdom that you needed to where to go. Yeah. Anybody else have anything to share? I know Beth does, but she maybe doesn't want to.
There's nothing on my mind. I'm like, oh, I should be talking. I should be sharing. And it's just blank.
It's just blank.
Well, I have
Somebody else does.
I have a little thing to share. I didn't really know how to come out of it, but I remember many years ago, it was just a really busy time of my life. And I was needing to get ready to take my son to an appointment to see a psychiatrist. And all of a sudden I just had this terrible pain, like gas pain in my stomach. And it was just like, I had to like breathe into it, like you breathe in when you're having labor of a baby. That was that kind of pain. I had to just lean into it to help it subside, but it just incapacitated me. I was just so tired. I mean, it subsided, but then I was just so exhausted. I had to go lay down, and I ended up canceling the appointment because I was just too tired to go. That's as far as it went because I didn't know anything else. But I think it was, I was just trying to do so much and just feeling some anxiety about it all, and just
Yeah. As somebody who, helps people with this, I could give you possibilities of what happened, but unless you start in the moment and start to figure it out, that's when, and we're all different. And so our body's going to tell us all different things, but we can have a generalized, like if it's dealing with this, it's possibly, if it's a pain here in the area, it's possibly dealing with this. Then we have to go in and figure out the truth for ourselves, which is why I say absolutely involve the creator. Because just like what he did with JC, he'll give you exactly what you need to understand at the moment. Mm-hmm. And some of these things, especially if it's like something that's chronic and long term, it may take a while to understand it all completely. And you may get just some relief from it, or you may just get an understanding, because we do know that sometimes these things just happen. But we can have a deeper understanding, possibly of self, of why they're happening. And that can give us, at least for me, a greater understanding of how to then cope with it and walk with it. Because it's never going to be 100% better, but it can be percentage better. I mean, I still have leg pain and I still have problems in my legs, but not to the degree that they were. So there was a resolution to a degree. Mm-hmm. So, but I do know some people with some things, when they do this, it's completely gone. And I believe that, wonderful. I mean, and I probably had some of those things happen. I just don't know them off the top of my head. And I think sometimes it's because we've listened to the whispers first, and we were able to give the body what it needed as a whisper before it became a full screaming match. And so,
Oh, are you finished?
Go ahead. Yeah, no.
I think too, I don't know, I've just kind of been thinking of examples and things in my family and things for myself. Sometimes the whisper may be just a thing, a physical thing. And our response to that is more maybe our mindset, our beliefs, our past, all those things creep in that then takes things to a level they didn't need to go to. And then like, for instance, my family, they all suffer from allergies and I don't. Mm-hmm. And I will notice and be curious about sneezes or coughs or changes in their normal. Mm-hmm. And so I'll say, do you think you need some oils? Do you think you need something? And they laugh and they go, Mom, I just sneezed.
Yeah.
But like, I always see it as a whisper because something has changed. Were you outside? There's something, have you dusted your room? What can you do now? But then that ignoring or acting like nothing has changed, or a refusal to think about something in a different way, or to be preventative, or to say, okay, I can do something now. And I'm choosing actually to ignore whispers. And then sometimes I think that's where we start getting into these deeper emotional connections, even in the body. And sometimes it starts with emotion and feelings, but sometimes it might just be a physical weakness in our body. But so, the tooth issue that you ignore until it's a big problem, right? Or it's a financial issue, or, other things, that when we listen to whispers and are curious and willing to act, but so often our trauma, our issues, our mindset, oh, I'm not worthy of taking care of myself. I don't have time. I got to take care of the family. I don't have time to go to the doctor, or I don't have time to eat right this morning, or whatever it is. Often I think it's our responses that are kind of coming from emotional places that take things to the next level.
Yeah, and they're actually all connected. It's one big continuous loop. Because some of those things are because we don't feel good enough. Remember the self-worth? So I don't have the time to do it because I'm supposed to be doing all this other stuff. I'm not supposed to be taking care of myself. So they're all connected. But I do like, because I think the biggest thing why we ignore or we push aside those whisperings or those little nudges is because we're like, I don't have time for you yet. I don't have time. So the body says, okay, goes on, does its thing, more whispers, don't have time. Okay, does its thing. Now it's starting to get a louder voice. Still don't have time. Okay, I'm going to start screaming at you okay, now I have to have time, and I'm ending up, at the doctor's or the emergency room. So.
Or the stomach ache kind of issue, where sometimes we actually feel shame and guilt about the fact that we haven't done something, which then we put it off even longer. Yeah,
well, absolutely. Because I don't want to be judged. And
I don't want to think about, oh, I should have eaten better yesterday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or sometimes we can feel like what our body needs is overwhelming and too big for us, because now it's screaming at us, and now we have to do like complete lifestyle change. So it's like, if we can listen to the whisperings first. Yeah. So
I like the word curious.
Yeah.
I love curious. One of the things that I notice with myself is when I have some kind of a whisper or a low grade voice from my body, if I'm not ready to deal with it, sometimes I will switch gears into storytelling about it. And so I'll start, and like Cricket, like you're saying, I would tell the story of, oh, there's that pain in my under my ribs on my right side. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have a gallbladder attack. Then I'm going to be in the hospital. Then I'm not going to be able to work for 2 weeks. And then it'll just spiral. And of course, then the pain is increasing as it spirals. But if I can change what happens when I notice to what you were telling Jen, that loving kindness towards that part, 9 times out of 10, it will resolve. Yeah. And go to my creator. But I'm a great storyteller. And so that's, I
know. It's cancer. It's a heart attack.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We don't want to give that part of our body that information. We don't want, it's not broken. It's not broken. We don't want to give it like what it could possibly be, because we want to feed it the positive. Okay. So any other questions before we move on? Have you guys thought of some stuff that you would like to work on? Have you like found a loud voice? Have you found a scream? Have you found something? Okay, good. So what do we do now? You found it.
We listen to you.
Well, we're going to let go now. Now that we're going to let it go. Okay. And I want to preface this that letting go can be a process, or it can be a one-time deal. Okay. So ways to release and let go. You have many, many ways to do it. I know a lot of people journal, and I have learned what's called a body mind writing, where you literally sit and have a conversation with your body. Even if you have to do it almost like a me, Jen, and then you just tell that part of your body, okay, lungs, I'm just really fed up, blah, 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 blah. And you just start just saying all the things to the lungs. And then you sit back and you put down lungs or body, and you wait, and you just start writing what they say. You dialogue. You start having this dialogue. This is called body mind writing. And you let it say what it needs to say to you. And you write it all down. And then you just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. until you see all the information there. And it will shift. It will shift to a point where you two can resolve. You tell it everything, you let it tell you everything. And you can actually you can dialogue pain too. Pain in the, the pain in the, in my lower back, pain in my ankle or whatever it is, and dialogue the pain. You can dialogue an issue.
I'm sorry. I wonder if you could dialogue with the pain or the issue and tap at the same time.
You probably could.
Yeah, I'll bet that would be super effective.
Yeah, see, so all the stuff can be put together. If I'm doing the body mind writing, I'm praying before and during it.
Right.
So it's like a lot of these things. That's why I say this workshop is from 3 books that I've used. Okay. That I call my mentors, or what has taught me. And then I've created my own way of doing it with me. Okay. So it's like giving you the information to then discover how your body is going to be communicating, working with you, and how you are going to be able to do it. Because some people, they get all of their release and their letting go through the emotion code, body code modality. That is what released everything out of my legs. Okay. In the very beginning, till then I was able to move on with some of the other stuff and learn the deeper limiting beliefs behind it. Mm-hmm. And then address them differently. So it's like there's ways to do it. Beth provides Coach and Clear, which is an amazing way to address this, to have further understanding and release and let go and restore. Imagery is another way of doing it. And that is too, when I am doing my body mind writing, in my mind, I have that body part is like an animal or something, or it's talking to me. It's like, so imagery is a way too of being able to address what's going on in the body, which means it's going on in the subconscious, because we're all connected, which means also what's going on spiritually for you and mentally for you. So other ways to let go is just intending, like with your intention, like with the breathing, with the sending it loving kindness. I believe like the prayer and what Jacine talked about was part of intention. She just leaned into it, was intending what the guidance and the information that was given to her, what she needed. Meditation is great. Meditating, and there's different forms of meditation, and there's different like apps and like things out there that you can use to meditate on a body part and release the pain. And one of the big ones is leaning into it, like what Jacine did. Just lean into the pain, experience the pain, and releasing the pain, or letting it do what it needs. Sometimes it's almost like just giving it permission to be in pain. Mm-hmm. And what it needs to relax and release. And then when I've done that, then I like to what's the underlying issue of that, and dive deeper into it. There's hypnotherapy and nutrition and herbs. Sometimes your body is lacking something that it needs physically. Mm. So you need to have that. There's EFT and tapping. And Beth talked about what if we did that with the body mind stuff? Yes, whatever your system that you use, you can do. An aroma freedom technique is amazing for that. And then magnets, and that's what Dr. Brad uses when it does the motion code, is with the electromagnetic and the meridians of the body to release through your intention. So it's using intention too, where that pain and those emotions and that stuff is centered in your body. So these are ways to let go. So let's do just a little, let's just do a little meditation right now. So don't pick something that's screaming at you. Let's pick just kind of like that medium to loud voice, something that's going on. Okay. And let's just do a little meditation on that one right now. And this is meditation and imagery can be pretty similar. Okay. So what I teach you now, you can take this and do this with whatever you find. Okay. So go ahead and just close your eyes down. Take a nice deep breath, and you're going to focus on that medium voice. Okay. So just focus on that medium voice and where you feel it in the body. Where is that discomfort, that pain, that irritation, whatever that voice is, that intensity? Focus on it in the body. Okay, and take a nice breath in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. And you're going to imagine that you're going to take a balloon and you're going to put it right by that discomfort, that pain, that issue. And with your breath, as you breathe in and as you exhale, you're going to start filling that balloon up with that pain or with that issue or with that discomfort. However it shows up to you, as an image, as a color, as a word, or all of them, breathe it and exhale it into that balloon. Then watch your balloon start to inflate. And keep feeding it that pain, that discomfort, that issue. And keep inflating that balloon. Taking it from your body, from your mind, and inflating that balloon. Now, your balloon could be full, and it could need to be a larger balloon. And if that's the case, just make your balloon larger to continue to feed it. Or you may want to add a second balloon. You can do that also. Whatever you do here is perfect for you, as long as you're feeding the discomfort, the irritation, the frustration, whatever this issue is, into your balloon. Good job. Keep feeding it. And you're going to tell your balloon that in just a few seconds, in just a few moments, we're going to be finished. So it needs to put all that it needs, all that it can at this moment into the balloon or balloons. I'm going to be quiet and give you a few moments to finish filling your balloon. Good job. Now, take that balloon, tie it off, or balloons, and tie them off with a nice secure knot. Attach a string to them. Notice now, as you let go of that string, as you let go of that balloon, and watch it rise and leave and exit to where you no longer see it. It is no longer there. And take your attention, your focus, back to that part of your body. And notice now how it feels different. Whatever you notice, whether it's a large shift, a medium shift, or a small shift is perfect and correct for your experience. But notice the change. Thank your body for letting go. Thank your body for the work that it does constantly on a daily basis, on a minute-to-minute, second-to-second basis it does for you. Thank it for the job it is doing. And ask it, forgive you for ignoring it or for causing it pain. And tell it that you're going to try and do better. You're going to try and listen to it. And you're going to try and do better to give it what it needs. And any other information that you need personally to tell your body right now, go ahead and do that. I'll give you a few seconds. Good job. You guys did amazing. Go ahead and thank your body again. And tell it that you'll be back and help it fill up more balloons whenever it needs it. And then when you're ready, go ahead and gently come back to your room, back to this moment. Move your hands, your feet. Focus on something that you can hear in your environment. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes, raise your hands above your head, just stretch a little bit and come back. So this is a meditation that you can do to try and alleviate some of that, just putting it in the balloons. This is something that you can do. I wouldn't do it driving. Don't ever do anything like this driving, but just whenever you have a few minutes. Anybody have anything they want to share about what they just experienced with that? Did anybody feel a change, a shift in their voice? Carolyn.
I definitely have one.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't huge, but
There
there was
some-
a change.
yeah.
It was fun when you had the imagery of letting go of the balloon.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go let go of the balloon, but instead this gargantuan boulder came down the hill and just ran it over
Just took
and
the
swept it all away. Yeah, I think in my subconscious mind or in my imagination that letting go of it was just too kind. It just needed
It was
to
like,
be
no, it needed to be
steamrolled over. Yeah.
Okay. That's so funny. Now,
Well, I felt like my balloon was huge. I mean, it was like a giant. I'm like, how's it ever going to get off the ground? There was just so much in there. And so it had to turn into more of a hot air balloon to like go,
to go.
to like get out.
Mhm.
But when you, it was really emotional for me when you said, ask your body to forgive you, ask her to forgive you. And that was, for me, that was, not only my body, but my Heavenly Father for the judgments and for all of the garbage that, I did to her. So yeah, that was really emotional for me.
And to be able to promise her that you would do better, that
Yeah.
you will,
Yeah.
you will try. I loved that. That really felt good.
Mhm.
I can share. So mine was about kind of puffiness and stuff I get under my eyes that feels kind of new. And it just bugs me because they look puffy in pictures and then like kind of just little scowl marks a little bit. And I just was feeling like, I'm trying to see all the problems and just I'm worried and I'm looking and trying to prevent And so for me, it was kind of just the image of the situation and the worry and the tenseness. And I just like want to look for the good more and to shift my focus. And I kept filling up. I had a balloon under each eye. I was just filling it. But the idea of just that breathing and releasing is something I just need to do more often, period, because that's going to help me through the physical, like just the situation when it happens where I'm stressed and feeling. And like, I want to have a face that's not anxious to my family and concerned and angry looking, but it's stress and worry about their happiness and their future. And it's a good, like, comes with good intention.
Yeah.
And I want to forgive myself for when I am excessive.
Yeah.
But I think that it's a physical thing, that my emotion and my misplaced intentions can actually physically change how I appear to people who just see me like, oh, are you okay? Or, like, I don't want it to be apparent that I have hard things in my life, because we all do. When we were in Italy, I noticed, oh, wow, all that went away. What was working? And it was like we were seeing and doing amazing things that took the focus away from the everyday and the criticism. We were looking at new and exciting and other beautiful things and learning new things, and not focusing on criticizing others or watching others or responding to others defensively or whatever. Anyway, that was my experience.
That's profound, Cricket. Thank you.
Yeah. And that's what was
Yeah,
interesting was I think some of the further understanding that you got out of that was like the worry and all that stuff that you felt, was coming because of it. So thank you. Anybody else? Carolyn?
I'll share. So at first, I just had little balloons that kept going off.
Awesome.
And then you said, okay, then you got to be filling a balloon. So I thought, okay. So then after that, I was able to have a balloon that I focused on and filled up.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was like, I kind of have lately a kind of a foggy, fatigued brain.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than it was. It kind of goes up and down, but that's what I was working on. And the thought came to me is I need to feed my brain things. I need to nourish it with just learning things that are interesting, that lift me.
Mm-hmm. And
I mean, I do a lot of scripture study, and I know that I really think that helps a lot. But sometimes there's other areas that my mind wants to learn.
What's interesting about that on the neuroscience level? So it's harder for us as we get older to learn new things because we have to create new learning pathways in the brain. Mm-hmm. But it is imperative for mental health as we get older to do new things. Mm-hmm. It's harder for us to learn things because the brain is not young anymore, but it's imperative. If we want to stay mentally young, yes, do the things that help us to think, but always learn something new. Mm-hmm. And because it challenges your brain. And so that might be your brain saying, girl, we got to learn some new stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to share a few things that when you do this meditation, whatever the balloon does is what is meant for you. Like, instead of letting it go, Beth needed it to be bowled over. You may needed a lot of those little balloons in the beginning, but then you got your big balloon. But whatever, and that's why I said, maybe you need a second balloon or a third. Whatever happens for you. I did this with a client. It was so fun because at the end, she's like, I couldn't let that balloon go. I had to sit there. And you know how when you take a balloon and you let the air out, but you pull it, it goes, and it does a little like farting noise and things like that. She goes, I had to do that with it. And I'm like, but how funny is that? Because she's like, I'm choosing to let it go, but it has to be kind of dramatic or funny. It's just like, so whatever happens for you in this space, just let it happen. It's your fun place to be, but also it's your place to heal and to get more information. So this is something you can continue to do on the brain fog, continue to do on the puffiness, continue to do on whatever pain or issue it is, because it's something that can help bleed it out or like release it out. and then see, and as you do it, see how your balloon changes. It may not be the big hot air balloon again. It may be, a little one, or it may be a few, who knows? But anyway, so that's when you discover something through the way that we did earlier with those questions. This is a way to do it. But there is a deeper dive. Anybody want to do it with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I feel brave.
Okay. So my deeper dives, my deeper dive involves what I've learned out of it. And these are the books that I told you. Okay. These are the 3 books that have taught me in my life. Okay. And I will default more to this first one, the Healing Questions Guide, but I've learned from the other 2 also. So if you want to further study or further get further information, the very first book that I read that gave me any idea about this was The Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. That one blew my mind when I first started to realize, oh my gosh, there's an emotional connection to the pain. Are you kidding me? Or the discomfort or the illness that I'm feeling. And the Healing Questions Guide takes it a deeper step. Okay. And then the Deb Shapiro one is more of like the cognitive, like that's where I learned my body mind journaling stuff. Okay. So they all have really good things and they all work differently, but I've combined those for me. So the deeper dive is actually getting, asking the question or a question to the subconscious and getting a yes or no answer that then can lead us to a deeper question. Okay. So this is where I want to introduce, and I think everybody here might know this, but how many of you understand or have had experience with what's called muscle testing and what muscle testing is? Is everybody here? Okay. And so for those who are going to probably watch this later on who may not know, it's a way to use a kinesiology or a muscle response in the body to ask the subconscious what is happening or ask the question. Okay. Dr. Bradley Nelson has this quote. I'm going to do the quote so you guys can see it. But his quote is, "The most widely used and accepted method of accessing the internal computer system of the body, which is the subconscious, is known variously as muscle testing, kinesthetic testing, or simply kinesiology. Muscle testing can tell us about the overall health and balance of our bodies. It gives us a direct way to ask the body what's bothering it." Okay. And this is from his book, The Emotion Code. Beth, I know I'm putting you on the spot right now, but explain to us a little bit about if you were to explain to somebody new what muscle testing is.
I would use the same quote that you used with Dr. Nelson, explaining that our body responds to truth. Mm-hmm. It responds to yes. When I was first introduced to muscle testing, it was because a friend was working on a project that she wanted help with, and she wanted my input on something that she felt was true, but she wanted a secondary response. And so she taught me to sway test, to stand with my feet together on the floor, grounded and connected to the floor, and then to let my whole body settle into my feet, and taught me that when I felt like something was true, or my body or my subconscious mind felt like something was true, that I would naturally be drawn forward. And so she had me practice. I'll never forget it. It was in my kitchen. And I remember having that first feeling of, for me, it's a feeling of my heart opens, kind of like your lotus flower. I can feel my heart open, and I can feel myself drawn forwards toward whatever it is that is truth. And so when I'm working with someone and trying to help them to explain, that's generally where we'll start, because I have found it to be universal. We are all drawn to truth. It's who we are.
Yeah. And so on the reverse, we are then also drawn away from,
repelled, absolute repelled.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
And I want to, I mean, thank you. Perfect way of explaining it. I also want to say that when I'm doing that, when I'm testing, it's also what's good for me or what's not good for me. It can be, because it can be good for somebody else, but not, this is not for me. So it's like, it depends on the question you ask. And that's kind of what I say, when we can ask the best question, then we can, we can have greater understanding.
Question asking is an art.
It is an art. It is an art. And that's why I defer to the Healing Questions Guide, because that is where I get my deeper understanding, my deeper dives on my issues. Now, the book works this way, where you can look it up. It's alphabetical by issue, by body part. And so you can look it up, and it has a number of questions. And you can read the questions and find which one resonates with you. But what happens sometimes, our critical mind wants to maintain, or our conscious mind, the critical mind wants to maintain a story or wants to maintain a truth, and maybe doesn't want to see the deeper or darker side of what possibly is our issue. And so it may not actually want to engage in the best question for you, because it doesn't want to, it has a judgment. And so that's why we want to access the truth of the subconscious through muscle testing, because the subconscious will let us know, no, this is really what's going on. And so I use the Healing Questions Guide. I don't read the questions. I'll go to the body part, and I'll say, oh, there's 15 questions I can ask. And so then I'll start to muscle test. Is it in the first 5? Or is there more than one even? And so then I will read the question. And a lot of times after, I'll be like, well, it's telling the truth I didn't want to face, So another thing is, jumping back to muscle testing, as practitioners who have been trained with muscle testing, we can actually test on other people. We test it on our body, we test on other people. And so what I wanted to do today is, those, however long we want to stay with this, we volunteer, and we can each work on an issue. This is the deeper dive. Who wants to do it? And I will actually go into the Healing Questions Guide with you, and we will come up with your question that your body wants you to ask yourself and start to resolve. It's going to give you insight. So anybody want to do that with me? Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, talk about vulnerability. And I don't know, maybe Beth, this is a place, I don't know if it's something that we don't want to record. I don't know. It depends, because this is recording, and it'll be for those who will watch it later. So if you don't want to have it recorded,
just say so, and I'll turn it off for your part.
Just say so, and she'll turn it off. But if you're okay with being vulnerable,
it's fine. I'll probably need to be leaving a little soon. I'll be moving the thing around as I'm getting ready to go somewhere, but I'll just stop my video during that part.
How much time do you have?
I need to leave. I need to start getting ready about 1:45.
Let me do you have 5 minutes? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I have got time right now.
Yeah. If you want to do it, we could do you first.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You want to do that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so Caroline, sorry.
That's okay.
What body part is yelling at you? You want some information about what's going on, or issue?
Well, the one that I was working on. Well, okay. I'm trying to decide which one I want to go with, because there's more than one.
I know.
So lately I've had some more like mental fatigue and fog, and I think it has to do with an illness, but that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay, so you said you think it was done with an illness. Were you given a specific diagnosis on an illness?
No, it's just a virus that's ran around Beth and her family, and I got from them. So that's all I know.
Okay, so let's ask the question about the mental fatigue. Let's go
Okay.
with the mental fatigue. Okay, so I'm gonna sometimes the book I'll look right at mental fatigue. It may not have mental fatigue. I may have to go into the brain, but let me just give me a few seconds here to look
Okay.
under the M's.
I'm going to get my book too. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, this is cool because we can have two people helping. I have memory problems, but you feel it's mental fatigue, right? So let's go
Well, it's kind of both. It's like, well, my brain's not working as well. Like sometimes when I'm trying to do something, I'll just like, it just doesn't think right. It's
you know
just
what?
like,
There's brain fog. Let's go with
Yeah.
brain fog. Okay.
right.
Okay. So in brain fog, so I'm just going to walk you through.
Okay.
The book has 6 questions. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not even going to read the questions. I'm just going to ask through muscle testing.
Okay.
Is it more than one question? I'm getting no. It's just one question. One question for you to further explore this with your body and the brain. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. Okay. So this is what I'm getting. This is the question, and let's see how it actually works in your life.
How's it feel?
Yeah. Okay. So hold on just one second. I want to ask one more question. Okay. What will it take to bring my mind into peace and gain the skills to stay there? What will it take to bring my mind into peace and gain the skills to stay there?
Am I supposed to answer that?
Well, think about it. What does
Pondering question.
this mean to you?
Oh,
Write it down and ponder on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
write it down and ponder on it.
okay. I need to write. Sorry, I wasn't writing it. What does it say it again? I'm sorry.
What will it take
What will it take? Okay.
to bring my mind
To what?
to bring my mind
Bring my mind. Okay.
into peace
Into peace.
and gain the skills
Skill. Okay.
to stay there?
Okay.
I love the 2 verbs in that sentence. First one, bring,
Bring,
and then gain.
gain.
Bring and then gain. So
And-
bring peace, gain skills.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
then-
it's a 2-part question.
Well, and then the result.
And then stay.
And then stay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got bring, gain, stay.
Okay. So now, usually what I do with this then is I start to do all those other little things. Am I going to go emotion code, body code? Am I going to go hypnotherapy? Am I going to go, the balloon? Am I going to go
Journal.
journal? I would
Mhm.
start journaling with this question.
Always with
Yeah.
your creator because
Yeah.
he knows the answer.
He'll I mean, I have some ideas, as a coach, I would have some ideas that but I want you to discover them.
Okay.
But then if you think, well, I'm just stumped, then maybe, Beth and I could give you some ideas. This is also a good one for Coach and Claire. These
Yeah,
are,
would be a great one for coaching clear.
yeah, but see how we got to this deeper question by just brain fog, and the subconscious is telling your brain that this is what your brain needs. It needs this.
Mm-hmm.
It needs this.
Yeah. Well, I noticed as we've talking about it, then my head's starting to hurt a little bit. This has kind of been something that kind of has been coming and going lately. It's like,
So if that, ask, what is behind this pain? Is it this question? Maybe there's more information trying to come through. And as soon as you get that information, maybe the pain will or the pressure will subside. So maybe you do need to start journaling this question right now.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, then I'm going to, what they have in the book is then they have a very positive affirmation that you can use to kind of balance out whatever else is happening. like, because you're going to be removing and releasing stuff. And so the
Okay.
positive affirmation can be what you can put in and support your change. Okay. You want that positive affirmation?
Sure. I'll take whatever you'll give me.
Okay. So write it below the question, but also, think about it if some of this comes to you with your journaling. Okay. Just kind of see how it goes. So the positive affirmation is, I am created for peace.
Okay.
My mind is capable to construct order.
Okay.
I give permission
Okay.
for the wellspring
Okay.
of self-validation
Okay.
self-love
Okay.
to flow
Okay.
through my mind and body.
Okay.
Okay, so now just a suggestion.
Okay.
As you discover stuff and you come up with things, I mean, you can even just like, I would use tapping on some of this stuff to tap out the brain fog. And we did that whole workshop on, I taught you how to do the tapping. If you
It's
need
still
to,
on the 50/50 page. You
Yeah.
can go back and go through it again.
where
Okay.
you could tap out the brain fog or the question that we found and be open to whatever comes as you're tapping, and then shift it into tapping in that affirmation. After you've tapped out what needs to be released,
Oh.
then you could tap in this truth.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
just as important to give as much time to tapping in as you give to tapping out.
Yes. So you need
Really
to tap
important.
out a
Both
lot.
are both very important.
Yeah.
Okay. So tap out the question and tap out just the fog and pain.
The fog and whatever comes up from with that.
So if there's other things that come up that might be contributing to the problem, then I'll also tap that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I would first start with tapping out the brain fog, just like whatever is involved in the brain fog, tapping it out. And then like as that comes up, tapping out that, and then introduce this question and tapping out the question.
Okay.
What is what will it take to bring my mind to peace? And like, what's keeping me from not bringing my mind to peace and all that stuff.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So tap out the brain fog and then tap while I'm saying the question. Is that what you said?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then when you feel a shift and feel you've tapped out at that moment, at the session is released, tap in all the goodness.
Okay.
Then tap in.
One of my favorite transitions in tapping is after you've been tapping on the tap out stuff, all the stuff that's wrong, and you just keep tapping all the stuff that's wrong. Then ask the question, but what if it's not? Just introduce it to your brain. But what if it's not? And then start to tap in, what if I am created for peace? What if, and start tapping in all of these what ifs, and you'll find that your brain will latch on and your what ifs will become, I am created for peace. I am capable. But
that is a good point. Good point, Beth. Good point. Yeah. Introduce the possibility first.
Yeah.
But what if I am? Yeah.
Okay. Oh. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So would you have gotten to that deep question just by like addressing remember the list of possibilities. What does this part of my body do? All that stuff and everything. You would get some relief from that in the beginning of the workshop. The stuff that we did in the beginning of the workshop, you would get some relief. But the deeper dive is getting you to the root and the core, and of what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Great question, Carolyn. Thanks for being brave and sharing.
Yes.
Well,
Anybody
thank
else
you.
want to do this?
We have just about 5 more minutes, and then we need to wind things up. So who else wants to go?
I'll do it.
Okay, Jacine, what are we doing?
IT band. Because
Ah,
it got me,
IT
it got me, it got me again last night. And it's interesting because I woke up this morning and my teeth were sore. I'm like, there's something something deeper going on because
Are you feeling it?
I
more
was
in-
grinding my teeth.
Yeah. Are you feeling it? Jacine,
I didn't.
Whoa.
Hang on a second.
Is that better?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you
Okay.
feeling it more in your hip?
Yeah. I could stand up and show you. It's like right there.
Yeah,
Starts
right
here,
there. I know
and
that
then it
spot.
I would
radiates.
say hip.
Man,
Yep.
it radiates all
it's
the
your left
way
hip?
down. It's my left. Yeah. All the way down into my hamstrings and into my calf. It's like, holy smokes. Yeah.
Miserable.
So Beth, are you looking in hip?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm just there.
Yeah.
244, 246. And Jen, it's funny because it's already bookmarked, Jacine. That'll tell you something. Okay. And then left hip. So if you want to look, Jen, it's on 245 and test through and find her question.
Okay, I'm testing. There's more than one question for you.
Perfect.
Why is it? Okay, so this is interesting.
Because
So-
Jacine's a complicated soul.
Have to make it exciting,
I
right?
already did all the, all the top stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So is it?
That is so funny. Okay, so the other page that is in the index relating to hip takes you to tense jaw muscles. Now, if you look in the index, 244 to 246, then there's 279, and I landed on tense jaw muscles. You want to hear the questions?
Sure, go
For
ahead.
tense jaw muscles. This is going to be, it'll pertain to me as well because I get tense jaw muscles. What am I not willing to hear or know about myself? What feelings am I not willing to feel? What will it take to express them effectively? What will it take to learn how to freely express myself and have the voice to ask for what I need? I think that pertains to every one of us in class. Yeah.
So if it was me, if I really wanted to narrow it down, I would then ask which one of those,
Which is most important for
if
me.
it was most important for me.
Yeah. It's like the good, better, best.
Yeah.
I use the good, better, best all the time.
So in the hip, what I am testing for you, Jacine, is what will it take for me to trust that I will not misuse or abuse my power?
Wow, that's awesome.
Did that must have hit you because you went,
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
okay, so what will it take for me to trust that I will not misuse or abuse my power? Now, I want to ask you this. You all of a sudden went, oh, so did something come to your mind when you don't have to share it, but when you went, whatever
Right.
came to your mind, you write that down so you don't forget it, because that is the area you need to focus on.
Did you see the affirmations, Jen?
Not yet. I haven't looked.
They're beautiful. We're going to all benefit from the affirmations.
Oh, I do like that one. Um,
Okay.
okay, so now interesting. I asked, is it because that came out of just the generic hip problem? Because remember, it said there was 2 questions.
Did you go
Or
to the
there's more
left?
than one? There's 2 questions. And so then I said, well, is it in because it's your left hip? I'm like, is it your left hip? No, it took me to hip replacement. So don't read into hip replacement.
Okay.
This is your best question to ask. Okay.
Okay.
Which is, what do I need to ensure that I can now create the life I have come here to create with confidence and wisdom?
Put your eternal eyeglasses on when you consider that.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to ensure that I can now create the life I have come here to create with confidence and wisdom?
Yeah. That's amazing.
And explore that one.
If you go to just above the affirmations, there's another left hip question to consider.
There's a what?
Another left hip question to consider just above the affirmation.
Yeah, I mean, you can consider that. I mean, you want to test it personally, you can.
Yeah.
But for when I
specifically
tested you, it was these 2. But that doesn't mean that the other ones aren't possibility.
Mhm.
But sometimes, too much may be too overwhelming.
Amen. Amen. You really want to be pinpointed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Wow.
so you ready for the affirmations?
Sure.
The good stuff once you get this. So I tune in to the voice
Okay.
that will lead the way
Okay.
even if the road is strange and unfamiliar. Talk about groundlessness, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Comfort in uncertainty. Grounded in our
Okay, the
Savior.
next part of that is everything will work out as long as I do my best. Oh, no, as long as I do the best I can.
Right.
So I'll read that again so you have it. Everything will work out as long as I do the best I can.
Okay.
And then there is the one that was under the hip replacement one. If you want this one, I am capable of making the big decisions in my life with confidence and wisdom.
Nice.
I will always be allowed to choose again.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I know that really resonated with me too, that I had to stop and write that one down. I will always be allowed
to choose again. Yeah.
It's like the definition of repentance. I love it. I will always be allowed to choose again.
Wow.
You ready for the next one?
Hang on. No. Okay.
I feel the support of my Heavenly Father.
Okay.
surrounding me,
Okay.
in my choices.
Hmm. Nice.
We should play with this some more going forward in Coach and Clear sessions. It would be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
that's
can
cool.
spend some of our coaching time.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's the deeper dives.
Wow.
You can see how in the beginning of the workshop you got an understanding. You started the process of asking and being aware of the body and possibly what is being communicated to you and how it's affecting you. And then we gradually worked into the deeper dive, the deeper dive. So
Mhm.
your body is talking. Are you listening?
Are you, are you listening?
Are you
Thank
listening?
you, Jen. That was amazing. You never disappoint. I get
Thank
so
you.
excited about your workshops when they come up. I've been all week long. I've been, oh, Jen's going to teach. Jen's going to teach. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Next month, Jen's going to teach again. We're doing July the 8th because 1st of July is too early in the month, right? We're doing July 8th for our next Jumpstart, and it's going to be the tapas technique. You want to tell us just a little bit about tapas?
It's another way of releasing trauma energy somatically from the body with pressure points. So it's different than tapping, but close to tapping. Okay.
Yeah. It's the tapas acupressure technique, and it's a patented process, right?
It is a patented process.
Yeah.
And I'm just experienced in it. I'm not a certified person, so and anybody can become experienced. So I'm just going to just pass on the experience and the information to you. And if you want to learn more about it, then you can go to her workshops and things like that.
We can play with it together, and you can.
That's basically what it is. Just another tool to help us with this journey that we're doing. And just that list of all that stuff, another thing that we can do to help our body and our mind and everything come to wholeness.
I love it. I love it. And then we have Coach and Clear on Tuesday at 1:30 Central. And then Jacine, you have book club on Wednesday at that same time. You want to tell us a little bit about book club?
We are reading You Are Enough, and this week we're going to be through chapter 8, and we feel really smart. Like just the first few chapters we read before. We love the content, but so much of it we're like, oh, we already know that. And guess what? So anyway, we love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool. Well, and I skipped, we have Mastermind Monday night as well. And just for all of you who are watching this that are part of that mastermind, remember we talked about our 5 senses and that journey through the 5 senses, the last mastermind we had. And so this is your chance to be reminded and touch base with how you're doing with your 5 senses project. We'll talk some about that. And then we're going to do a mid-year review, not a 6 month, but it's 9 months now that we've been doing this. So we're going to do that review. So we've got that, Coach and Clear, book club, coach training on Thursday, more on the life purpose course. It's going to be really good. And then we'll start all over again on Monday with our creator-based weekly. This has been so good. So good. Jen, thank you so much. Just really in your debt. I just love your teaching. And
I can regurgitate information and give my experience. That's all I did.
You do it so well. You just opened my eyes in a really beautiful way. And it was great to have everybody come. Kathy, thanks. Yeah. We hope to see you around on some of these other things as well. It was great to see you.
Ladies. See ya.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Take me with you. I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Now I am willing to make a choice. This new path take me with you. I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Now I am willing to let go. I surrender.
Hey, thanks for joining us today in A Creator-Based Life. I hope you felt that compassion, mindfulness, and hope you came seeking today. You can find more of it at cmhcoaching.com or on linktree/cmhcoaching. Of course, any social media outlet, we're there too. Because you felt the benefit and light in this message, please invite those you care deeply about to join us. Help us to create a ripple effect across the globe of compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Then we can create a creator-based life together. Have a great week, y'all. We'll talk to you soon.